transfers that you definitely think will happen this summer in the transfer market. But yes, Breton, we're going to go bold with this.
We already, yes. So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to name you a name. You're going to then tell me what your percentage certainty in your mind is that they leave. So 0 to 100%. 0 obviously being you have no certainty that they leave, they stay. 100% being they're definitely out of here. And then I want you to give me your first thought as to where they go. I'm going to warm you up with a relatively easy one because we also missed a little factoid about him. I'm going to say Harry Kane to start.
Harry Kane 100% should leave and will leave. And I think he will stay in the Premier League and will go to Man United and win his first trophy with Man United and make history. Well, he's already surpassed Wayne Rooney in goals.
And there you go. He tied Wayne Rooney at the top, but he did it in like 100. I think. Yeah, Harry Kane scored 208 goals in 316 Premier League games versus I think Wayne Rooney took like 480 or 490 Premier League games to get the exact same amount. So I think with 25 this season, Harry Kane deserves a whole lot more credit for what he has done. It's absolutely ridiculous. And I think next up, it's going to be a little tough, is the incomparable Alan Shearer up ahead. So Harry Kane, you say Manchester United, and you say 100% that he is leaving. That's interesting. Now, we're going to go back to the Bundesliga since you like talking about that, because there's a development here, and I'm going to say Florian Wirtz.
I think 20% he should stay and remain with Xabi Alonso. Florian Wirtz has a lot of problem with injuries. He's been 10 months out this in the past year. So I believe Florian Wirtz should stay at Bayer Leverkusen because he is a generational talent.
Okay, so you're saying 80% that he should stay. 20% that he should go.
Exactly. Exactly. 20%.
All right. And that comes to my next one here because I agree with you that he should stay. I agree with you that he should have a whole kind of healthful season. And I do wonder in this next one how much Xabi Alonso's start at Bayer Leverkusen is going to kind of weigh on these other ones. And that is Jeremy Frimpong is my next one.
100% leaving. Jeremy Frimpong is 100% leaving to the Prem. The speed on him, the ball knowledge of where to be on the pitch, he is a special wing-back in the making. So 100% I think Jeremy Frimpong will be leaving. World-class player in the making.
But you don't think Xabi Alonso has the clout to potentially keep him in the Bundesliga?
Because I think the same markets for Wirtz. This is what I would pitch the Leverkusen management. It's look, Wirtz has been out so many of these months. We've managed to showcase Jeremy Frimpong in these months, and potential-wise, we're gonna get this fee. If we manage to keep Wirtz these months, we can have this fee. So I believe that they will have much more next season for Wirtz. So Frimpong, it will be at his all-time high at Leverkusen.
And what club did you say?
Man United, I think, will be the favorites to sign Jeremy Frimpong because of Erik ten Hag. I really believe he knows that he needs an attacking right wing back to get that full success. I really believe that will be the top.
This next one you're gonna like, Antonio Silva.
0. Stay another season at Benfica. I think all the top sharks in the European Giants will be trying Antonio Silva because he's the best under-20 center back in the world. But I think he needs another season at Benfica. Ruben Dias stayed like 2-3 seasons in the first team. I think Antonio Silva needs to stay minimal 2 seasons because that's minimal. I think he'll leave after next season. That's my prediction.
Yeah. 0%. I don't know. Sometimes these bids come in. Yeah, he's gonna have to like go into a cone of silence
100 million
this summer and
close.
not look at this.
100 million release close.
All right. Well, this next one is not 100 million release close that I know of, but Ansu Fati.
If he was injury free, he'd 100% be the best winger at Barca. But if an offer that is above 60 million comes for Ansu Fati from a Newcastle or a Chelsea, I would sell him if I was Laporta. And it saddens me to say that because they need those 60 million to get Messi.
Yeah.
So I would sell.
And where do you think he'd wind up? You think he'd stay in La Liga or Premier League?
Prem. I really think Prem clubs are fascinated with Ansu Fati, and his agent is Jorge Mendes. So he is the third, I think, or fourth in the most well-paid for Barca. So that can be problematic if they're going to get Messi. So I think the Premier League, that's where the clubs will match the same wage. So yeah.
Can't believe we're still talking about Messi going back to Barcelona. It's not happening.
One more season.
It's not.
One season.
God, get out of here. Get out of here.
It will. 100% the Barca.
Get out of here.
15 packages for 15 suitcases have come to Barca. Okay, in that weekend that he went to see Atletico. I believe in it.
On all the things that don't need to happen, that's at number one for me. Okay? Leo Messi does not need to go back to Barcelona for one season. I guarantee you that season he goes back, it's going to be as unfulfilling as his current season is with PSG.
But let me shoot one to you. Leo Messi, PSG.
Leo Messi, PSG? Well, okay.
Lionel Messi, PSG.
Yeah, 100% he's leaving. 100% he's leaving. But it's not the FC Barcelona. No, it's not the Barcelona. No,
it is. Don't go to Miami, man, please.
Inter Miami a couple years before the World Cup. I think the metrics, I think the numbers will definitely get him over the line. Now it could be like, I don't know. He's definitely done at PSG, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Definitely done.
Definitely done.
So I still think Inter Miami. I mean, I know a lot of I've talked to a lot of people that are around that. Mm-hmm. But then again, his entourage could be playing games. You never know.
Neymar. Let me shoot another one to you. Neymar. This summer.
Neymar? Yeah, but where?
Chelsea.
Where?
Todd Boehly would pay for Neymar. He would.
I think Todd Boehly's learning a very expensive lesson right now. Neymar does not create relationships. So
what?
They need to look inward, man. Oh, of course he'd be happy in London. I mean, I'm just looking at all the players that are absolutely probably miserable right now after having signed for Chelsea and getting buried in a depth chart that is 30 long now.
But they'll have a 30% wage cut because they're not in Champions League football.
Yeah, I mean,
they won't be happy. They won't be happy.
No, they will not. They that just makes them even more pissed off. I don't think these are players too that he's signing that are like, yeah, I'll just take that 30% cut and just accept it. It's going to give me a chip on my shoulder and I'll just play better next season. True. It goes beyond just playing better for Chelsea. And I'm actually glad that we've refreshed things and not talked about the ills that are Chelsea, this particular one, but I'm pretty sure that in 104 and 105, we're going to be revisiting Chelsea.
But let me ask you, Pulisic, though. Third in a row. Yeah. This is my last one. Pulisic. Do you think he will? Yeah. What will happen next summer for Pulisic? Yeah,
so I'll say 75% go. Obviously, if Poch comes in, Pochettino comes in. I know that there's a soft spot. I know. What?
New son? Will Pochettino make Pulisic his new son?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. I think 75% he's got to go. He just has to go. Their depth chart too big with his injuries. He'd be better off. He'd be better off at a Newcastle.
I like that.
Honestly,
be
a whole lot better off at a Newcastle or Bayern. For that said, I doubt Bayern's looking to sign him.
No, I don't think Bayern. But that's interesting. It'd be interesting.
It is. But yeah, Pulisic has to go. So, but I am going to leave that 25% handicap on the fact that new boss seems to be Pochettino. And I do have to ask you, this is completely out of the vein of the game. Do we really think Nagelsmann is going to sign for Spurs?
Look, if Nagelsmann or Ruben Amorim sign for Spurs, that will be the best thing that can happen in this terrible situation and mess that Tottenham are in. These are two experts for a rebuild. Ruben Amorim would save Tottenham, okay? And they brought in Pedro Porro already, especially with the departure of Harry Kane. They have to rebuild. They must. So
someone's going to have to hit the reset button on Pedro Porro too, because his defensive liability is he's definitely not a bad player. I just think, you're looking at a guy like Eric Dyer has had some of the most shocking performances. Cuti Romero is on the short list to be team of the season. True. Right? In the defense. Over Lewis Dunk. Lewis Dunk was not even kind of nominated. He was definitely not nominated.
What?
For that. Yeah, he's not in it that I know of.
It's disrespectful that he doesn't get a call up for England too? Now you see he's not even in the talk for best center backs of the Prem this season? Disrespectful. Captain of Brighton, man. Oh my God.
Lewis Dunk's not there, but Cuti Romero, Luke Shaw, Zinchenko,
What?
Thiago Silva, Ben
Shaw?
Mee from Brentford is
Oh
there.
my gosh. Luke
Yeah,
Shaw? I don't think
the only thing I can think of.
Oh.
No, I mean and he's filling in relatively nicely right now with obviously the injury crisis in Manchester United's back four. But when it comes down to it, Lewis Dunk not being there, regardless of the fact, yes, he has conceded the most penalties in the Premier League. Mm-hmm. But aside from that, I mean, come on. Lewis Dunk has been, for all intents and purposes, next to John Stones, the best English center back in the league right now. And I guess it's questionable that we can even call John Stones a center back right now. That man is turning into one of the most important pieces for Manchester City and their run for the Premier League title. So it's great to see. So I got one more for you, and then we can potentially sign off here. I got to give you the big one here because I want to know. It sounds to me you've already given your answer if we kind of rewind back to the beginning, but Jude Bellingham is definitely on everybody's mind.
I really think Jude Bellingham's going to go to the Prem before eventually going to Real Madrid and becoming a Galactico. So I think the best decision for his career for Jude Bellingham would be going to Man City with Pep Guardiola and Erling Haaland. Like this season, if Man City win the Prem, they will win 5 Premier League titles in the last 6 years. With the signings of a Jude Bellingham, keeping Julian Alvarez, Haaland, all these top talents, like, it would be so exciting. And generational players like Foden, Stones, Ruben Dias definitely, in my opinion, will be seen as a world-class player in the future for Man City too. So I'd say Man City, yes. 100% leaving. Sorry, I didn't say the percentage. 100% leaving. Because it's more than 120 million that's being offered to Dortmund for a center mid. That's...
Okay.
Can't debate that. Can I ask you, Ugart?
Ugart. Okay. Well, I mean, it's 100%. You're going to say that?
I'll say that.
See, unlike you, I can't say 100%.
I'll say 100%.
I will say
100%.
I'll say 80. Nah. I'll say 85%. Okay. Nah. No, I mean, the numbers he's put up, right? Yeah. The numbers he's put up for Sporting. If you're not looking at him and you're not salivating, then you're clearly not doing your right scouting. And there's only so many teams, I think. There's a lot of teams that learned from the João Palhinha steal by Fulham last season that they're going to fall over themselves to sign Ugart, and frankly, they should.
Ugart will be better than Palhinha long term, in my opinion. Yeah, I'll say that. Uruguayan, defensive mid, 60 million release clause. He's still young, top in tackles in the Champions League and Primeira Liga. He's going to be elite, whoever signs him. So Liverpool might as well get him.
You mentioned Liverpool. Yeah, you mentioned Liverpool, and that would be pretty good. I think Arsenal would be smart also to throw their hat in there if they most possibly could, because he's cheaper than probably what Caicedo would bring. We didn't really talk about Caicedo, but he's another one on this list. But I gave you one like...
And they played against him, too. They saw it. They saw him for 118 minutes, Kugart, and he was one of the best players in the Emirates. Yeah. So that would be a great replacement for Thomas Partey if he's injured.
Yes, and I think depth is everything for Arsenal. Right now, there's just a dip in confidence. There's a dip in belief, and it was coming. And like you said, they bungled the 3 draws. They didn't bungle the Manchester City result. And that is mentality, and that is kind of just getting it over the line. They weren't playing with the same kind of same kind of lack of expectation. So the beginning of the season, Arsenal was just so damn dangerous and so fun to watch. Why? Because there wasn't the expectation of necessarily winning the Premier League. They were just playing to play, right? They were playing to prove a point. And near the end of the season, it became, holy crap, we put ourselves here. Now we got to stay here. And they don't have the personnel to stay there, right? So going after Ugart, Ugart, I mean, could you sign Palhinha? From Fulham, what would that cost? Would that cost 40?
No more. No. Definitely minimal 60 to get Palhinha.
Even with his 3 times even with his age?
3 times the price. Yeah. Because Fulham, they can say like, this is a player we just signed. So
it's true, but I don't know if he signed a long term. I mean, he's not signing an 8.5-year contract like
and he likes Mark Silva, man. He likes Mark Silva, and he will start for Portugal. Palhinha. in my opinion.
Well, I got one more for you that's less kind of. There were a lot of 0% or 90% or 100%. I got to throw one out there because you look at the results, you look at the statistics in the Premier League, and none stands out more in terms of young playmakers than Michael Olise. Okay, he's fourth. He's fourth in the Premier League in assists. Okay, he had a hat trick of assists in
Youngest
one game. I think he had a brace. Yeah, he had a brace the other day of assists. But there's no doubt that if you can keep Michael Olise healthy, he's still young enough to add some real good firepower. I mean, first place I'm looking like Newcastle could be a great place for him. I think I've said Newcastle for literally everybody, but when it comes down to it, do you feel Michael Olise needs to move on from Crystal Palace?
Look, Crystal Palace have kept Zaha a long time. Eze is still there. I wouldn't be surprised if Olise stays another season, but I would love to see him in another top team because, yes, he's the youngest player to have a hat trick of assists in the Premier League, and he's a special player like Wenger said. Wenger said this when he met him. So I think PSG would be the best signing for Michael Olise, with Mbappe leading the way too right there. And I'll give it a percentage for him to leave. I'd say 40% for him to leave, in my opinion.
40%? Yeah, I'd probably agree with you. I think the managerial kind of carousel that's going on right now, Vieira gone, Hodgson in, that might lead to something. Somebody's got to test the waters there.
But I don't think Roy Hodgson will leave long term. I know we'll stay long term. I don't think he will. I think he'll stay. I'm very interested to see who Crystal Palace are gonna get. Very interesting.
That was just to stop the bleeding, right? That's why Hodgson gets called in. All right. Well, this was a fun game, but I want to know in the comments. List some other players that you think might be leaving this season. And either Alex or myself will reply with maybe the percentage chance they're leaving and where we actually think they might wind up. Hey, we can all play this game, but it's more fun with friends. So